And this is what one of the survivors said after that press conference, or at the press conference after the congressional meeting.
I would like to announce here today, us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know who were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details.
You heard that? She said, fuck your list, we gonna make our own. And I wanna give kudos, 10 out of 10. I give these ladies 100. I give you 100, okay? And this goes back to something that I had mentioned previously. Like, we wouldn't need the Epstein lists if we just believe survivors. There was a TikToker who had mentioned that, and she was so correct. And it's so true. And we've been talking about that in social media. We wouldn't, the irony of the fact that it's like, we need the perpetrators to admit that they were perpetrators before we can believe that they perpetrated. Hello. Meanwhile, you have a laundry list of women out here being like, well, they did. I mean, I think we talked about this here. Do you know back in the day, this is back prior, I don't know when, I can't remember, but this is back in the day. This is olden times, let's say, okay? Do you know that back in the day, if a woman accused a man of rape in this country, she was required to have a second witness corroborating her in order to bring the case at all? So in order for a woman's word to match up to a man's word, she had to have a second person backing her up. This was law. You can look this up. We talked about this in one of our early episodes. This was law because the word of a woman was only worth, the word of a man was worth more than the word of a woman. And the word of a woman was only worth that of the word of a man if she had someone corroborating her. This was legal. This is legal precedence in this country. And things like that manifest from the legal world, the judicial world, the criminal justice world into everyday life because it affects how we perceive things. And it manifests in situations that we see today. The law is gone. We don't have that law anymore. But the repercussions, the consequences of that law still exist in the fact that we have dozens of women who have come out and said their story, told their story about being victims of this man, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And still people need to see Jeffrey Epstein's stuff, his stuff to prove that this really went down. They still need to hear the word of a man, even if the man has already been proven to be a predator. They need to hear the predator say he did it, even if only in paper, even after death. Screw all those women. Screw the dozens and dozens of women who have been talking and coming out for decades now. Because this started in the 90s, maybe even the 80s. Screw them. We need the men to corroborate this. So I love to hear that these women have decided that, you know what, we're going to create our own list. Because, they should, as they should. Because they know, like she said, we know. We don't need a list to know. We know we were there. We know. They know who was abusing them. They know who was in the rooms with them. They know who they saw doing things with other people. They know. The problem is we don't want to listen to them. We don't want to believe them. We need the men to say that it was true. And if they don't say that it was true, then we're not going to believe it. And we're going to keep kicking the can down the street, down the whatever for years, like we've been doing for the last 2-3 decades. So I'm so happy that these women are coming together. I know when she made that announcement, I know all over the world, I know chills went down so many spines all over the world. I know so many of those people who know that they are involved, those men and some women who were involved. I know chills. I know their timbers were shivered. Okay? I know they were terrified hearing that. And I love that for them. And I'm so happy that these women are doing this. And, you know, it's up to them what they want to do with that list. It's up to them whether they want to release it. It's up to them whether they even want to compile it. Because while, you know, it's great for them to come out, it's not their job. It's not victims' jobs to come out and you know, re-traumatize themselves in a world where people don't believe victims and they don't believe women. It's not their job to do that. They shouldn't have to do that. This isn't a Law and Order SVU episode. Oh, you know, you can really help us get this guy off the street. You know what I mean? Like, this is real life, and they don't have to. They're not required to be the one to go after their assailants. You know what I mean? That's not their job. So I do appreciate that they're doing this. And like she says, stay tuned. And I am staying tuned. I really hope that we get to see, I mean, I'm like, ladies, let us know. We all ready to listen. We're ready. And I really am looking forward to that. I hope that they do. I hope they release it. And I love that for them as an empowerment tool for them.
No need so. No need so.